Hello and welcome to the channel. We've got a bit of a problem here. We've run out of kindling, so I'm going to have to. This is a fire lighting session. So we're going to light the fire. God, I just opened the door. So I've used the smallest bits of wood that are available that I've got. Oh my god, the suction on that's incredible! Holy fuck! This is really, oh my god! Oh, the house is going to get blown down! The door's slammed shut and everything! Now we don't have any kindling as such, so I put more firelighters in than I normally put in. But there should be enough suction to get it going. I'm not sure about that. It's pulling it right in tight. Oh my god! God, we've got a problem here, man. Oh, look at that! Wow! Holy fuck! Look at that! That's mad! It's absolutely fucking mad. There it is. Sorry, my arm's in the way of your viewing. So if I go along here and just pull this. Look at that. Oh! The suction. Wow! Holy moly! Lighting the log burner in the storm. Storm, what's the name? How long's it gonna take? I don't think we're gonna have a problem. It's not easy kindling that wood. You can do it, but I need to do it outside. I tried doing it in the kitchen, and I can't batter it hard enough in the kitchen. I'll end up putting a hole in the floor. So you really have to do it outside in a hard surface. Shut up! The doors are. What sort of joiner did you get? The door's not shutting right. The door's wide open! Got big problems here! Should have stayed in! Oh, wait a minute, I'm in though. Oh yeah! I forgot, this is in. Even staying home's dangerous. Look at that. We'll get this thing going. Something over there, nothing. Yeah, the world's full of a bunch of fannies now, isn't it? Everybody's a fanny. We're always worried about all sorts of shit. Wow, look at that. Holy fuck! This is it, it's 26 minutes past 2. It's Friday. Friday, I don't know what the hell it is. I think it's the 24th of January, and I still haven't been down to Wetherspoons. Right, how's that going? How's that going? Is it going? Holding on to this with my right hand. So I had a woman this morning arguing with me on Facebook, and what she was actually trying to do, I've analysed the discussion that we had. It was a contentious one. She was actually trying to prove that she wasn't a racist, is what she was doing. See that fucking door? It won't stay shut because the fucking thing doesn't stay in the... You know that it doesn't go into the... she was proving that. So she argued like that, and she was not listening to what was being written or not absorbing it. So what I mean is that, oh God, look at that. That's not going that well, is it? So the grooming gangs is an example of when people are trying to prove. Oh, see the flame come out there? Look at my arm. They're trying to prove that they're not racist. That's an example, and so I'd already mentioned it in the thread, and it's about. That's essentially what happens in this, well, and other Western countries, predominantly white people with predominantly higher percentage of white skin, which is a result of the weather. That's why we have white skin. Environmental factors, and she was arguing, and she got frustrated with me. Maybe we should do a wee video on it actually. Oh, maybe we shouldn't bother. Who cares what his numpties? She was basically trying to prove that she wasn't a racist by proving that I was a racist. And the whole thing started off by somebody saying, why are driving standards going downhill in Stirling, right? So I mean, you could apply that up and down the country: Scotland, England, Wales, Northern Ireland. Why are driving standards going downhill? So first off, you could say, well, you don't think they are. So you'd need to look at statistics, wouldn't you? Oh wow, look at that. The fire's going. Aye. You need to look. I mean, you could say, well, I don't agree with you or something. Or it's just your perception that driving's going downhill. Driving standards are falling. In other words, so you could say that they're not, or you could take another approach. You could agree and then disagree on what's causing it. So I suggested that it's government interference, which is an overarching reason why driving is going downhill. Yeah, I'm going to stop saying that. Driving is standards are deteriorating because of government interference. Too much nanny state mollycoddling, and one of these things is removing the roads, narrowing the roads, putting bike lanes in roads, sleeping policemen, damaging cars, all that type of thing. That's NIMBY stuff. It's damaging driving standards, also immigration. So I mentioned that, so that's where the racist thing came in, because I mentioned that I'm a racist according to that woman. Obviously no. Well, you could, from the very basis you're talking about, if you take aside, so this is the grooming gangs thing, was the problem with that, was that the police or the authorities were too scared to prosecute because of the predominant culture, sort of woke culture, protecting people with darker skin colours or ethnic minorities, and that's how. So the horrible side of that is children being abused, and the reason. So the analogy is quite clear. So that woman was doing a sort of miniature version of that, where she was refusing to accept that driving standards from people who are not from here could be contributing to the fall in standards here, because they're not from here, they're immigrants. And so even purely in a case of numbers, before you start the cultural stuff, imagine it's exactly the same. It's numbers, so the roads are too busy would be the point with that. Well, I think we can shut that door now. My God! Holy moly! God, that was unbelievable. So I also said that I was happy and I enjoy. I'm happy for immigrants to be here. So I'd said that, which I am. So I'm merely pointing out. So it's like if you try and point out the truth, then you get shot down in flames. So like you could accept these things if you were an immigrant and say there's like, so what I said there was pick, say India for example, you would need to take the road deaths as a barometer for driving, driving skill. Not skill, but safety. That's what it is. Standards. And so we started off by her saying, where's the statistics or something? I says, well, go and look them up yourself. Why can you not look them up yourself? So the reason is, like, when somebody starts off like that and they're saying, then they will then spend all their energy dismantling your statistics. So you just say, go and look them up yourself. Why should I do your dirty work for you? So, well, that's going already, isn't it?
Jurors were told today the 4 children died after a discarded cigarette or upturned tea light sparked a blaze at the family home in South London. The 30-year-old, who suffered from mental health problems, was found guilty of 4 counts of manslaughter.
God, that's shocking, isn't it? Fucking shocking, that one. Jesus. Right, so, yeah, it's just virtue signalling. We need to treat people equally. That's what we need to do. Quality of opportunity. Not pampering people because they've got different skin colour. And look what happens. So you can turn around and say honest things. It doesn't mean to say I don't like immigrants. I think, so the thing, well, my brother-in-law, I used this example. My first brother, my sister's husband was from Pakistan. And he told me how he passed his test. He got in a Toyota Crown, drove it forwards and backwards, and gave the guy 50 rupees. I don't know how much that was at that time. That's how he got his driver's licence. I mean, she did point out that they have to sit a test here, which was the only thing she sort of contributed to the conversation. But then that doesn't really answer the whole problem or issue, does it? Because they don't have. I don't know the ins and outs of it all, but I believe they have to. If they're going to stay here, they have to sit a test here. I don't know how strict it is or how thorough it is. I don't know how long that is. Is it 6 months or a year or what? And also, I looked it up a wee bit. It wasn't. It depended, where you were from. I think if you're from within the EU, you don't have to sit a test, which would make sense. But I don't know how that is now. Is that the same now as it was because we came out of the EU? I don't know. I mean, really, I think generally speaking, I would be saying that, for example, Poland, the drivers from there are probably might well be better than the drivers in the UK. But so generally speaking, Western Europe, the driving standards. As in, well, Europe, yeah. Driving standards are probably pretty similar. US is a different kettle of fish. So obviously, like India, Africa, some of these countries, the driving standards will be pretty bad. And so that would be borne out by the statistics. But I never looked up. I don't need to look up the statistics. I know. I've seen it before somewhere. I've seen driving in India. I'm not criticising them. I think they're great people. You know, they welcome you. I think they're great. I think it's great that they're coming. Indian people are brilliant. Indians that I know in Edinburgh, they're fucking brilliant people, a lot of them. But they come from a different place, and things are different there. It doesn't mean to say that that is the main cause of driving. There's got to be several causes. But anyway, I wasn't even saying these were the causes. I was just I was only like asking the question, you know. But they don't like that, do they? So I was like asking, "Do you think it's this? Do you think it's that?" But then this lady was going, she was making, like, this is, if you're in arguments with people, this is something to be careful of. Try not to make complete assertions unless you're not like 100% certain that you're correct, because in a lot of these things nobody really knows the answer to all the different things. It all depends what it is. So that's why I said, "Jink, it's this," or "Jink, it's that," but she was kind of gaslighting me and saying, she was misrepresenting what I was saying in order to work out a narrative that I was a racist. I mean, if you watch Jordan Peterson with Cathy Newman, I mean, obviously Cathy Newman's a bright woman, and he ran rings around her. She was trying all that stuff on him, and it didn't work. But this woman that was on me today, arguing with me today, was pretty dim, you know. I mean, not really up to much, but anyway, that's the fire going. It's quite amazing. That's the fastest we've ever had it. I know. Look at that lovely fire. Actually went quite well, and the wind really helped getting it going today. Even though I was struggling a bit with kindling, I don't have really much decent kindling. It's the wind. Look at it. So we need to turn it down a bit now. But that didn't take long at all. Get that going. Yeah. So we've got it. It's looking lovely, isn't it? Wow. So I've got that sawdust drying out there. Leave that sitting there for like a day or two. Put it on at the end just when I go to bed. I'll turn the vent right up so it doesn't cause any nuisance. So it does burn it. Well, once you've got it dried, it will obviously. It's more difficult to dry sawdust because there's dampness and that in it. So I've got them all drying off there. Brilliant, eh? Hey. The wind blew the bloody loft hatch down. It was that bad. Because I had the front door open. Jeez. That thing's going amazing. Well, that's brilliant. Wow. That didn't take long to get that going like that. Wow. How the fuck can 52 years be unduly lenient? Some MP. That'll be fucking stupid. He'll get, hopefully, well, no, look, somebody's going to do something to him, or he'll land up doing a decent thing himself, won't he? I mean, how the fuck's he going to stay in jail for 52 years? I mean, he's going to be 77 when he gets out. How old is he? 17 or something? What's 17 plus 52? 52. So 67, 69. So he's old. When he gets out, he's going to be like 10 years older than what I am right now. His life is over. That's what it should be. Look what he did to them little girls. It's terrible. I can't even say it. It's like, I can't even get my head. I can't conceptualise how somebody could do that. He must be totally. It's not like he's a bit of a criminal or nothing. It's just completely and utterly. And how his parents didn't. His dad stopped him going in a taxi with a knife or something. It all sounds really like lapsadaisical, doesn't it? Back to the old racist thing again, probably. I've moved it back a bit so it doesn't heat up too much. That was unbelievable, that fire lighting session, wasn't it? Absolutely brilliant.
They've actually signed up to this so-called treaty. The plant-based treaty is not a real treaty. It's just a series of demands by activists online.
Wow.
Go even further in that they want to bring plant-based food into schools and old people's homes.
One thing about this thing, it kind of rattles a bit in the wind. A log burner.
Thankfully, we're talking dozens of councils, but what we are seeing though, Tom,
So you've got, I was thinking of Tony Blair, the nudge units, trying to nudge us along. It's all the dumb people fall for it. Is that what's wrong with me? I'm just so pissed off because people, I can't accept that people can't understand what's going on. So I get frustrated, I get irrational. Why are council doing this? Council shouldn't get involved with that crap though, because they're getting paid for it, isn't it?
I mean, when it comes to something that the vast majority of people enjoy every single day, meat.
The only good thing out of all this is that Donald Trump in America. That's the only good thing about this. And I honestly believe that Donald Trump, that will spread to here and we'll just get rid of Stammer, get rid of the Labour Party. But the Conservative Party need to become conservative. Get rid of the SNP. Get rid of the World Economic Forum. It rattles. I'm not totally sure. I mean, that type of log burner, so like the last, well, 2 houses ago it had a proper chimney, which is probably better, isn't it? As part of the structure of the house. And this log burner sort of fitted in there and goes straight up through the roof. So the other side is lower than the ridge of the house, so it's obviously going to have wind. You can hear it, I don't know if you can hear it, but it does rattle a bit. It's amazing when I do these videos. I did one this morning. The length of time it takes, and you could equally spend the same time just sitting in the house. And all the different things that I've seen when I was out, the experiences that I had. So there we are. What I'm finding really interesting today is that normally the phone heats up by now. So we're 23 minutes into it and the phone heats up. I wonder if the heat, the wind is making the heat go up the chimney or something. Is that an explanation for that? It's hard to say why. I think another thing about this sort of weather is that it'll burn up the wood quite quickly, but that's okay, I've got plenty.
Joseph, if you're out there, mate, please come on the show, or just say hello. I want to buy you a pint. You're a hero. This geezer tried to stab you with a Rambo knife 20 times, you locked yourself in a room, you could have stayed there. You didn't want to stay there, you came out, you charged at him, you got injured in the process. You know, after what happened in Southport, we heard those amazing victim impact statements yesterday.
Yeah, but you're being encouraged to be a fanny, though, aren't you? Men are being encouraged to be fannies. Because, like, the example of that would be the 20... There's a fill-in page today, and I think I got chucked off it. This guy, the admin guy, was wanting to do something about the speeding motorists. So they've already got 20 zones there. So they're talking about putting sleeping policemen in to fill in. It's like, what the fuck's wrong with these morons? So I says to him, so he says to me, are you from Fulham? I should have maybe answered it differently. It's when you get these questions, oh there, it's heating up now. So thanks for watching this video. Please like, share and subscribe. We'll get you in the next video because it's going to conk out. But basically, you have to be careful how you answer these questions. So I says, can you answer your question first, please? My question first, please. But what I could have said was, yes, I'm local. Would have been the answer. I just never thought about that. Because I'm not from Lynn, but I do drive through it, you know, about 3 or 4 times a day. I think we're going to turn this down. Turn it right down. Because we've got so much wind, it's just blowing it mad, isn't it? Look. It's cooled it right down there.
After murdering 3 girls at a dance class, but his 52-year sentence has sparked calls for law changes. Axel Cabana received one of the highest minimum custody terms on record.
So I was saying, is they're encouraging men to be fannies.
When he was 17 years old.
Like they're talking about this guy that there's a guy coming out with a zombie knife in a shop or something, an office, and he locked himself in the room, and then he went out and tried to stop the guy, and he got stabbed in the process in his hand, his fingers. You know, so there aren't normal things. Men are not supposed to do things like that. They're not encouraged to do things like that. When the whole system's gearing up towards being careful and not doing anything, so you can't even drive more than 20 mile an hour along a road. You know, what sort of message is that for young men? It's all about safety all the time. Roads are roads. Roads are not for children. They're for commerce.
Whole life sentences. I think it's important to know that the last government did reduce it to 18 in line with international law after the Manchester Arena bombings, and that still stands. There are a range of other aspects of law and agencies who have failed in this case to step in. They knew about this man's extreme violence, but they failed to take any steps that might have prevented it. And there may be changes also in the programs that are designed to deal with this sort of extremism. That's what the inquiry, now the court case is finished.
It is quite noisy, that thing.
Will do.
Meanwhile, a deal worth around £9 billion has struck with Rolls-Royce by the government to help power Britain's nuclear submarines. The 8-year contract, dubbed Unity, is aimed at safeguarding 4,000 jobs and creating over 1,000 more, as well as bolstering national security.
So I think we're pretty much doomed.
Defence Secretary John Healey said the agreement showed
It's so annoying when I'm the one that's got to be bloody forward thinking and try to get things moving. I'm fucking getting on a bit, and I'm fucking weird, and I'm fucking changed my gender. I've already been involved with all the woke pish. And it's men. Well, it's because men aren't. That's why they've got some. That's why we've got such a big problem in Scotland with drugs. Because they're not being allowed to be men. Without men, women are fucked. No, they're not fucked. That is the restrictions that people like that are placing on us. I'm working this theory now because I'm an artist. I look into things like that. I'm working on the theory that it will actually restrict sperm. Yeah. So sperm is being restricted. Well, it is being restricted. There's no doubt about that, is there? So that there's going to be less children, and that's why our civilization's got to die out. So I think that's all I've got to say for that. So what I'm saying is, if you restrict, wow, did you see that puff of flame there? That was brilliant. That was with a gust of wind. You could hear the gust of wind and see the puff of flame. Restrict civilization, you're restricting sperm. There you go. You're restricting danger and risk. You're restricting sperm, which is restricting fertility. Well, you're not restricting fertility, but you're restricting procreation.
The 30-year-old who suffered from mental health problems was found guilty of 4 counts of manslaughter following trial. Rose and the children had been living in squalor before the tragedy. The 2 giant pandas have made their public debut at the Smithsonian's National Zoo in Washington, D.C. The zoo volunteer says Bao Li, a male whose name translates to active and vital power, and King Bao, a female whose name means green and treasure, have already won the hearts of our staff and volunteers. The pandas, both 3 years old, make their much welcome return after a 15-month absence. Those are the latest GB News headlines for now. More in half an hour.
I'm amazed this doesn't cut out.
Thank you, Sophia. Beautiful. Now, an embarrassment for Sir Keir Starmer, a major one, as a cabinet member's constituency has sensationally.
Yes, as you've said, this is a Labour-run council breaking with the government position, and you've also mentioned Lisa Nandy there, the MP for Wigan. This is a Greater Manchester Authority area, so the additional significance there is that Andy Burnham, the Mayor of Manchester, came out for a limited inquiry after the government voted down that Conservative amendment that would have put forward a national inquiry into the grooming gang scandal when that happened earlier this month in Parliament on the 8th of January. So what we've seen today actually is the second attempt.
The wind's settled down a bit.
Independent councillor Maureen O'Byrne to bring
3:10
into Wigan Council's chambers. What happened on Wednesday is that this motion was the 5th of several that were up for debate at the full council meeting in the evening, but we're told by the council that it reached its time limit, it couldn't be heard. But Maureen O'Byrne, it seems, stood up and started reading her speech for this motion regardless, with many councillors leaving the chamber at the time. I'm told that at least one Labour councillor did sit behind and listen to Maureen as she delivered that motion, wanting it to be debated on. And before the vote today, all the Labour councillors again voted against having that motion being debated.
So I've had to turn the air right down, otherwise it just went nuts. So the air's turned as far as it will go off. But this modern thing, it's new, well, it's a year old, they don't allow you to slumber, so you'll probably find that I can't turn it down enough with this wind that we've got.